Ladies and gentlemen, may I now request the man who has been instrumental in making this happen for all of us and who has been instrumental in developing the architect of how COVID should be managed in Western Australia. None other than our guest of honor, Deputy Premier, Minister of Health and Mental Health, Honorable Roger Cook, to please come on the stage. May I request our ex-AIMA ex-president, upcoming community icon and relentlessly hard-working Dr. Jagdish Krishnan to accompany the Deputy Premier on the stage to felicitate for Deputy Premier. Thank you. No, I'll continue. I won't be back. May I ask you all to let us give a standing ovation to Honorable Roger Cook for the work he has done to keep all of us safe and all of us celebrate Happy Diwali and shine our lights with the Diya of Diwali. Thank you very much, gentlemen. What a moment of joy this is. This is what I've been working for. Thank you, Jags. May I now request Deputy Premier to say a few words for all of us.
Kaya, namaste, good evening. Thank you very much, everyone, for the opportunity to be with you tonight. May I first begin just by acknowledging the traditional owners on the land in which we meet, the Whadjuk people of the proud Noongar Nation. We acknowledge their elders past and present and give thanks for the opportunity to share this beautiful country with them. Thank you, Satish. Thank you very much. And Jags, thank you very much for that gift and for that acknowledgement. It's very warm and generous of you, and I really appreciate it. And look, I am pleased, very pleased, to be joining you this evening for this event to celebrate the festival of Diwali, and I thank AIMA for extending me the invitation. I know this annual dinner, now the 13th, is a highlight of AIMA's social calendar, so to be here tonight as your guest of honour is truly humbling and a great privilege. This event caps off what has been a tumultuous year, one none of us could have foreseen, and certainly one none of us will forget. While we have been incredibly fortunate here in Western Australia to have been spared the horrific impact of COVID-19 that we have seen play out across so many other parts of the world, it has nevertheless taken a toll on us all, perhaps in ways that we not yet appreciate. I acknowledge how very difficult this year would have been for AIMA members, given that many of you, if not most, will have family members back in India and colleagues and relatives in other countries. And I was talking to Dr. Padia earlier on, and we both acknowledged that we've had doctors, nurses in other parts of the world who have sadly passed away as part of their fight of COVID-19, and I want on behalf of all of you just to acknowledge them for their great sacrifice. Some of you, I dare say, will be experiencing separation from loved ones due to the current restrictions on international and in some cases national travel restrictions. I can only imagine how distressing this must be for you, even despite the recent easing of India's case numbers. So it is to your enormous credit that throughout this period you have still found the strength and generosity of spirit to extend friendship and support to others unexpectedly caught out in the crisis here in Western Australia. At the height of COVID-19 emergency here, many Indian students and parents found themselves stranded because of the various shutdowns and restrictions. While members of the Indian Society of WA rallied to support those in need of food, accommodation and transport, members of AIMA answered the call for medical support. Many of you made yourselves available and established rosters to provide free medical assistance to those needing care. You recognise that many of these patients would not have been fluent in English and that they would have been experiencing anxiety due to being isolated and alone in a foreign country. One of the ways you made things easier for these people was by arranging appointments for them with doctors who had come from the same part of India. You knew that these patients would benefit from being able to discuss their medical problems with a doctor who spoke the same language or dialect. These medical consults were conducted mostly via telehealth and involved everything from renewing prescriptions to providing checkups. This contribution from AIMA members not only provided valuable assistance to members of the Indian community who suddenly found themselves in a vulnerable situation, but potentially also eased pressure on our busy health system. You have achieved this by preventing these patients from developing more serious medical issues. But AIMA's humanitarian work is not confined to home soil. Members also seek to make a difference abroad, where they have supported a range of worthy causes, including India's Grace Cancer Foundation, which provides breast screening services for some of the most remote and underprivileged villages in India, and Healing International, which is building a COVID-19 hospital in Chennai on India's east coast. What particularly impresses me about the work that you do as AIMA, however, is that you undertake it all in your own time and on top of the demanding and important roles you already perform in Western Australia's public and private health systems, where you work in general practice and other medical settings across all fields of specialty medicine. It shows that you see your roles not as jobs, but as vocations, a calling as well as a career. And through AIMA, you have built on this calling to create a strong, nurturing and welcoming environment for doctors of Indian heritage and their families, with opportunities for educational and professional development, sporting, social and cultural events and community charitable events. AIMA serves as more as an extended family than an association of professionals of common heritage. It's not surprising, Satish, to hear you talk about the AIMA family. Doctors of Indian heritage make up a substantial and significant part of Western Australia's medical workforce, and we are grateful to you for the contribution you have made to the health and the well-being of Western Australians. I am mindful that many of you have been working at a coalface of our health system this year. At the back of your minds, you would have been concerned for the health and welfare of family and loved ones overseas. So I thank and commend you for the selflessness and professionalism that you have shown throughout this difficult period. The compassion and community mindfulness that this emergency has brought to the fore is something that I'm sure will continue to stand out when in years to come we all look back on this time. So, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Premier and myself and all of the McGowan government, can I just acknowledge the incredible work that you do on behalf of all Western Australians. This, more than any other year, the Western Australian community is proud and so very fortunate to have incredible doctors, nurses and allied health professionals working on behalf of all of us. That is the reason why tonight we are able to gather here. That is the reason why we are so fortunate. We have been very lucky in Western Australia, but you make your luck. You make your luck through commitment, hard work and dedication. And that is all the values which go to show the reason why AIMA is such an important organisation. Thank you very much for your work in the past. Thank you very much for your work in the future. And can I wish you a very wonderful night tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Premier. That was very inspiring.